There are days when it feels as though the weight of the world is pressing down on you, suffocating your spirit and draining your energy. Moments when the stress, the suffering, and the heaviness of life seem endless, trapping you in a cycle of despair. But know this, those days never last. Beyond every storm, there is always a clearing. Beyond every hardship, there is always another opportunity waiting. Storms come and storms go. Good times come and good times go. Life moves in cycles of difficulty and joy, and it will always be so. The situation you find yourself in today, whether it brings joy or sorrow, will not stay the same. Change is the law of life. The most crucial thing you can do is to stay in motion, to align yourself with the very nature of the universe, which is ever-flowing, ever-moving. As long as you stay in rhythm with life's movement, with discipline, conviction, and consistency, good things will find you. You will overcome the challenges you face today and the ones that await tomorrow. Motion fueled by discipline and perseverance becomes an unstoppable force. By maintaining forward momentum and a mindset rooted in resilience, you will break through barriers and rise to new heights. This is not mere hope, it is the law of the universe and the core of human nature. Where there is will, there is always a way. The most ambitious, consistent, and relentless individuals, those who refuse to quit, who do not waste time complaining, are the ones who change their lives, reach their goals, and shape their destinies. In the chapters ahead, we will unlock powerful, timeless wisdom to help you cultivate a mindset that remains unbreakable no matter what life brings. Keep going. You've got this. Chapter 1. The Nature of Endurance. To understand why we must keep going, we must first understand the nature of endurance. The Stoics believed that endurance was not merely about waiting out the storm, but standing tall within it. Seneca taught that true greatness is not avoiding hardship, but facing it bravely, treating every difficulty as an opportunity to forge strength. Imagine the ancient mariner battling waves larger than his ship. He does not command the sea to calm. He commands himself to stay steady. Life mirrors this ocean. You cannot order the tides to obey your wishes, but you can train your mind to hold firm amid the thrashing. Training endurance is a daily exercise, a craft honed through countless small, deliberate actions woven into the fabric of everyday life. It begins with simple but profound choices, resisting the urge to complain when things do not go your way, staying silent and composed when anger bubbles up inside, choosing patience in the very moments when frustration tempts you to lash out or give up. Each decision, seemingly insignificant on its own, lays another solid stone in the enduring foundation of a resilient character. Over time, these small victories build up, creating an internal fortress against the storms of life. You may not notice the strength you are building day by day, hidden quietly beneath the surface of your daily struggles and small victories. But one day, perhaps when you least expect it, when a fierce trial comes, you will find yourself standing firm, unwavering, without even realizing how deeply rooted your endurance has become. You will marvel at your own unshakable foundation, one that was formed not by grand moments, but by thousands of small, unseen choices to persist. This quiet, continuous construction of resilience is not glamorous. It is not celebrated or recognized by crowds. It is silent, steadfast, and deeply personal, yet it is transformational beyond measure. It molds you into a being capable of weathering life's most violent storms without losing your course. True fortitude is the cumulative result of countless moments, often lonely, often painful, where you chose to endure, to stay steady, and to persist even when every fiber of your being screamed for escape, ease, or surrender. It is the fruit of your unseen battles, the product of your determined spirit, choosing growth over comfort. steadfastness over surrender, and courage over collapse. Every day that you continue forward, you are adding another vital piece to the indestructible structure of your character. Begin by identifying the small irritations that disturb your peace. Every time you endure one without complaint, you strengthen your endurance muscle. Log these moments. Over time, you will see proof of your growing power. Chapter 2. Discipline is freedom. Many view discipline as confinement, something cold and rigid, but the Stoics knew it as true liberation, a liberation far deeper and more profound than the fleeting pleasures of indulgence or the hollow victories of unchecked desires. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." This mastery is not external conquest, but internal dominion. Freedom is not merely doing whatever you feel like doing. It is having the unshakable strength to do what must be done, even when every fiber of your being rebels against it. True freedom is the ability to act with reason and virtue, not with whim and impulse. The one who rules over his appetites, moods, and distractions is the one who moves freely and purposefully toward his highest goals, unshaken by the chaotic winds of circumstance and unaffected by the noise of temporary discomforts. When you lose yourself to impulses, you surrender your sovereignty. You become a puppet of circumstance, dancing to the erratic tunes of fleeting emotions and transient cravings. But when you tether yourself to your values, to principles that do not sway with the day's weather, you become truly unstoppable. You carve out a life of intention rather than accident, of purpose rather than passivity. Discipline becomes the invisible armor that guards your dreams from the subtle enemies of laziness, fear, and distraction. It becomes the steady engine that powers your mission forward, no matter how rough the terrain becomes, no matter how heavy the burden grows, no matter how loud the voices of doubt and fatigue shout within you. Think of a sculptor chiseling away at a massive, stubborn block of marble. Without disciplined, patient strokes, the sculpture remains hidden forever within the stone, an invisible masterpiece trapped inside because the hand that wielded the chisel lacked the will to continue. Only the persistent, precise movements of the sculptor reveal the form that already exists inside, waiting to be uncovered. In the same way, discipline reveals the masterpiece within you by stripping away layers of weakness, fear, doubt, hesitation, and regret. It unveils your truest form, a form that would otherwise remain buried beneath years of procrastination, excuse-making, and indulgence. Discipline is not about becoming someone else. It is about uncovering the powerful, courageous, wise person you were always meant to be. Every disciplined choice, to rise early when sleep tempts you, to speak with unwavering integrity when lies could offer you ease, to persist in your labor when quitting would be the softer path, to face fears when retreat seems more appealing, to act with courage when silence would be safer, to take action when procrastination whispers for delay, is another strike of the chisel, another patient and deliberate movement closer to the powerful, free individual you are destined to become. Each of these seemingly small acts forms a chain of resilience, binding you ever closer to the person you are meant to be. Every moment of resistance against comfort is a thread woven into the fabric of your character, strengthening it strand by strand, weaving a tapestry of endurance and determination that no outside force can easily tear apart. It is through this relentless, patient, and intentional effort, often invisible to the outside world but monumental within, that you shape not only your destiny but also your very essence. The unseen battles, the quiet victories over temptation, the moments when you choose principle over ease. These are the crucibles where greatness is forged. The journey of disciplined living is not paved with grand gestures or dramatic moments of valor, but with thousands of small, courageous choices made in obscurity, choices that reflect your deepest values rather than your fleeting emotions. It is the consistency of these choices, stitched day after day, thread after thread, that ultimately crafts a life of remarkable strength, profound depth, and unbreakable integrity. Every moment of discipline, no matter how small, no matter how overlooked by the world, is a decisive victory over the weaker self that seeks comfort, distraction, and momentary pleasure at the expense of enduring greatness. These tiny victories, seemingly insignificant in the moment, compound over time, forming an unbreakable chain of resilience that cannot easily be shattered. They are the unsung triumphs that shape your destiny in ways that grand gestures rarely do. Each time you choose the harder right over the easier wrong, each time you resist the call of temporary ease in favor of long-term excellence, you inch closer to the towering potential that lies dormant within you, awaiting only your continued effort to be fully awakened. You build a self that can withstand the tests of life, not merely survive them, but greet them with a calm, steady determination. You forge an inner constitution that does not falter when the winds of adversity howl, that does not crumble when faced with unexpected hardships. Instead, you create a mind and soul that remains steadfast and true, like a deeply rooted oak tree that weathers countless storms, yet stands ever taller after each one passes. When comfort calls loudly to abandon the path, you will not be swayed, because your discipline has taught you to value purpose over pleasure, meaning over mediocrity. These cumulative victories, stitched together through deliberate and consistent action, one determined choice at a time, construct a spirit that can weather any storm, pursue any dream, and ultimately achieve a life of profound meaning, joy, and fulfillment. They weave a tapestry of strength so tightly bound that even the fiercest storms cannot tear it apart. Over time, these small but mighty choices build an internal world so solid that adversity cannot easily shake it. You become a lighthouse amid the wildest seas, standing tall, a beacon of resilience and determination for yourself and those around you. It is a life where you are the true master of your fate, not because fate treated you gently, not because fortune favored you without condition, but because you met every challenge, both expected and unforeseen, with an indomitable will that refused to yield. You earned your sovereignty through battle, through fire, through countless silent moments when giving up would have been easier, but going forward became your only choice. This kind of mastery is not granted, it is forged. A life where your story is not one of easy victories handed to you without struggle, but a living testament to relentless perseverance, tireless striving, and the quiet, powerful dignity that only the disciplined truly know. It is a life where your every achievement is written in the ink of resilience, and your every triumph echoes with the strength born of countless internal battles fought and won when no one was watching. It is a dignity that comes not from public applause, fleeting praise, or the hollow validation of others, but from the private, profound knowledge that you chose integrity over ease, determination over defeat, and purpose over comfort, not just once, but repeatedly, when it would have been far simpler to yield. You will carry that dignity quietly, like a flame sheltered in the storm, steady, unwavering, and brilliant in its simplicity. This flame will not demand recognition, nor will it seek external validation to confirm its worth. It will simply shine, a silent testament to your internal victories. In a world that often rewards noise and spectacle, your light will be different. It will be the quiet glow of authenticity, the kind that cannot be faked, bought, or imitated. It will draw the respect of those who recognize real strength and inspire those still searching for their own. In every action, every word, every quiet choice to persist, you will embody a kind of greatness that cannot be taken away because it was never given. It was built with your own hands, day by day, through your unwavering commitment to the disciplined life. Set daily non-negotiables. These are actions you will complete no matter what. A morning routine, a moment of silence, an hour of focused work. Build your discipline around them and watch your freedom grow. Chapter 3. Accept and act. Acceptance is not resignation. Acceptance is clarity, a luminous understanding that reality must be met on its terms, not on the terms of our fleeting desires or imagined preferences. Marcus Aurelius taught that we should greet each event, good or bad, as if we had chosen it ourselves. This radical form of acceptance is not about pretending that every outcome pleases us, but about recognizing that peace comes from harmony with life rather than futile resistance. By doing so, we remove the friction between life and our expectations, dissolving the self-created suffering that often compounds our challenges. When you accept what you cannot control, you liberate your energy to act on what you can. You free yourself from the shackles of wasted emotion, from the gnawing anxiety that arises when you rage against immovable realities. Resistance drains you, bleeding away your strength in battles you were never meant to win. Acceptance recharges you, restoring your focus, sharpening your will, and filling your heart with a durable serenity that cannot be shaken by every unexpected turn. This is not passive surrender. It is active alignment with reality, a warrior's discipline to adapt and engage the world as it is, not as we wish it to be. Picture a river that flows around rocks, undeterred by obstacles in its path. The river does not protest the stones. It neither laments them nor tries to force them away. It moves forward with grace and persistence, adapting its course without ever losing its essential direction. It carves valleys, nourishes lands, and reaches the sea through a patient, irresistible force. You too can embody this spirit. You can learn to flow with life's obstacles, not by surrendering your purpose or diminishing your ambitions, but by maintaining your momentum, your spirit, and your clarity, even when the landscape shifts unpredictably around you. Each challenge, each unexpected turn, becomes an opportunity to reinforce your determination, to sharpen your focus, and to demonstrate your resilience. The river does not stop to curse the mountain. It carves its way through, finding new pathways, adapting without losing the essence of its journey. So must you flow forward, remaining agile yet unwavering in your commitment to your highest aspirations. When you adopt this mindset, obstacles cease to be interruptions and become integral parts of the journey itself, stepping stones that test and refine you. You remain loyal to your ultimate direction, undeterred by setbacks, undefeated by delays. Every shift in the landscape, every unexpected hardship, becomes a proving ground where you reaffirm your purpose and strengthen your inner resolve. By flowing instead of resisting, adapting instead of breaking, you turn adversity into an ally, a powerful current that propels you even closer to your true destination. Practice the art of voluntary acceptance. At least once a day when something frustrating occurs, pause and say, "I accept this." Then immediately take the next right action available to you. Chapter 4. Progress over perfection. The Stoics warned against the toxic pursuit of perfection, a pursuit that often binds individuals in chains of unrealistic expectations and unattainable ideals. They understood that no human being is flawless. To err is woven into the very fabric of human existence. What truly matters is steady progress, small, deliberate, continuous improvements that accumulate piece by piece into greatness over time. True excellence is not an explosion. It is a slow, patient accumulation of effort, resilience, and wisdom. Perfectionism often paralyzes the spirit. Fear of mistakes, fear of judgment, and fear of falling short lead to stagnation and inaction. Instead of daring greatly, the perfectionist retreats, believing that if they cannot be flawless, they should not try at all. Yet, as Epictetus wisely reminds us, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our judgments about them. Mistakes themselves are neutral. It is our interpretation that gives them power over us. If you judge every mistake as a definitive failure, you will quit. You will shrink from challenges. But if you judge each mistake as a vital lesson, as essential material in the crafting of your character, you will endure, adapt, and evolve into someone far greater than if you had never stumbled at all. Reflect weekly on your progress, not your perfection. Ask yourself, what small improvements did I make this week? Write them down. Let these victories fuel your journey. Chapter 5. The Power of Perseverance. Perseverance is the art of beginning again, every single day, no matter how many times you have fallen, faltered, or failed. It is not a singular moment of dramatic heroism, but 1,000 quiet acts of courage performed in the solitude of daily life. The Stoics lived this daily rhythm of renewal, waking each morning with the understanding that struggle is not an exception to life, but its very essence. They prepared not only for the known challenges, but also for the unforeseen hardships that life would inevitably unveil. Each new sunrise was greeted with a renewed commitment to endure, to remain steadfast, and to keep moving forward. When you feel exhausted, overwhelmed, or defeated, remember this essential truth. Perseverance is not about feeling good. It is about staying loyal to your purpose, regardless of the transient waves of emotion that seek to knock you off course. Feelings are weather, unpredictable, ever-changing, beyond your control, and like storm clouds, they gather and disperse without warning. But purpose is the ground beneath your feet, solid, reliable, enduring, and unmoved by the tempests raging above. When the storms of doubt, fatigue, or sorrow sweep through your mind, threatening to disorient you and obscure your path, anchor yourself firmly to that ground. Let your purpose be the steady foundation upon which you stand, the unwavering guide that directs your steps even when visibility is low. The winds howl against you, and all familiar landmarks vanish from view. Purpose, steadfast and eternal, can lead you through the darkest moments if you trust it more than you trust the fickleness of your passing emotions. You must learn to yield without breaking, to absorb life's blows without losing your essence, to let hardship shape you, but never allow it to define you. Hardship is not a verdict on your worth. It is the furnace that tempers your spirit and strengthens the fibers of your soul. You must see life's difficulties not as personal attacks, but as necessary training grounds where your true character is revealed and refined. You must be willing to stand amid adversity, not by rigidly resisting every gust of misfortune, but by adapting your stance, bending as needed, while holding firm to your core values. The branches of a tree that bend survive the storm. The ones that resist too stubbornly are often the first to break. Adaptability is not weakness. It is strength wrapped in wisdom. Flexibility, combined with unwavering commitment to your deepest principles, allows you to navigate life's tempests without losing the essence of who you are. In doing so, you develop a spirit that cannot be easily toppled or torn apart, a spirit so deeply rooted in resilience that even the fiercest tempests will find it unmoved at its center, a living embodiment of quiet, enduring power. In this daily choice to persist, to rise with bruised spirit and wounded heart, to face the day's battles anew regardless of yesterday's trials, you shape a life of profound resilience, quiet strength, and unwavering determination. Every sunrise offers you a new opportunity to reaffirm your commitment to your purpose, to reforge your courage in the fires of persistence. Each day you choose not to retreat, but to advance, even by a single step, You build invisible walls of inner strength that shield you from despair and doubt. Every moment you choose to endure, especially when your strength feels spent, when the easier path of surrender tempts you, strengthens your foundation. It deepens your roots into the fertile ground of self-trust, patience, and unshakable resolve. Through these daily acts of perseverance, you fortify your soul against all future storms and trials, creating a spirit that stands independent of circumstance, fortified against both external blows and internal doubts. In time, your very presence will inspire those around you to stand a little taller, to fight a little longer, and to remember that within them too lies an unbreakable core. This core is not given freely. It is built through the magnificent labor of facing hardship with grace, courage, and a fierce refusal to yield. Every trial you endure, every setback you overcome, and every day you rise again adds another ring to your spirit, growing you into a towering force of nature, unyielding, unshakable, and quietly invincible. Develop a reset ritual for difficult days. When you feel like giving up, pause, breathe deeply. Reaffirm your purpose with a simple phrase like, "I am built for this." Then take the next small action, however minor it may seem. Chapter 6. Resilience is a daily practice. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you build painstakingly over time through deliberate choices and consistent action. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They recognized that every small act of perseverance, every moment you choose to stand firm rather than retreat in the face of adversity, is another brick laid in the fortress of your character. This fortress is not constructed overnight. It is slowly, carefully built with each courageous decision you make when confronted by life's inevitable difficulties. Each day offers dozens of chances to practice resilience if you are attentive enough to recognize them. When plans fall through unexpectedly, when criticisms sting your pride more sharply than you anticipated, when fatigue drags down your spirit and whispers temptations of surrender, these are your defining moments. These are your real training grounds, far more important than any easy victories that come without struggle. Easy victories breed complacency. It is the hard-fought battles that carve greatness into your soul. Your resilience does not grow when life is smooth, predictable, and comfortable. It grows when life demands more from you than you believe you can give, when you are stretched to the breaking point and must summon from within a strength you did not even know you had. Every challenge, no matter how daunting, is a silent invitation to become more than you were yesterday, to forge a self that can endure and prevail no matter what storms arise. A warrior does not wait until the moment of battle to sharpen their sword or strengthen their shield. They prepare daily with unwavering diligence, understanding that the outcome of any conflict is determined not by fleeting courage in the moment, but by countless hours of preparation beforehand. They hone their mind, their body, and their spirit through intentional, often grueling practice long before the true test comes. So must you. Approach each challenge, no matter how small, no matter how seemingly insignificant, as a personal lesson designed specifically for you, crafted by life itself to sharpen your resolve, to harden your will, and to temper your endurance. Every inconvenience, every setback, every disappointment contains within it a spark of potential growth if you are wise and humble enough to see it. Treat every hardship not as a burden to complain about, but as a sacred opportunity, a divine assignment placed deliberately in your path to reinforce the very architecture of your character. Understand that life, in its infinite wisdom, sends trials not to crush you, but to carve from you the finest version of yourself. View these trials not as nuisances to be avoided or minimized, but as essential, irreplaceable bricks in the construction of an unbreakable inner fortress. They are the hammer and chisel that sculpt the masterpiece of your being, forging within you the capacity to bear immense weight, to endure relentless hardship, and to thrive magnificently under pressure that would break the unprepared. As you embrace this mindset, not once but consciously, repeatedly, every single day, in both major upheavals and minor inconveniences, you will find yourself developing a quiet, immovable strength that the world cannot easily perceive but will inevitably feel. Your presence will speak without words. You will embody a calmness that does not waver in the face of adversity, a spirit that meets storms not with panic, but with poise, with deep wisdom, and with an unwavering resolve anchored in your soul. Over time, this practice will transform you from within, creating a depth of resilience that is unshakable, a core identity that remains steady while everything else around you trembles. Over time, with enough persistence, conscious engagement, and devoted practice, you will find yourself standing stronger, calmer, more resilient, and more unshakable than you ever thought possible. You will become the steady rock against which the waves break in vain, the unbending pillar that others instinctively turn toward in moments of fear, uncertainty, and chaos. In choosing to rise above your trials, to meet each hardship with the unflinching courage of a soul determined to grow, you will not only shape your destiny with your own hands, but you will light the way for others. You will inspire them to believe in their own capacity to endure, to prevail, and to transcend whatever storms life may bring their way, creating a ripple effect of courage and perseverance that outlasts even your own lifetime. Chapter 7. Controlling the Inner Voice. The Stoics taught that the quality of our lives depends largely on the quality of our inner dialogue. Marcus Aurelius wrote extensively about watching his own thoughts and correcting them when they strayed into negativity, fear, or bitterness. Your inner voice can either be your fiercest enemy or your strongest ally. It is the most persistent and influential force in shaping your emotional landscape, the unseen architect that silently constructs the foundation of your future reality. Left unchecked, it will parrot every fear, doubt, and excuse that you have ever absorbed from the world around you. It will magnify insecurities, rationalize procrastination, distort opportunities into obstacles, and plant seeds of hesitation in the very moments that demand courage and conviction. But when guided intentionally, shaped with conscious care and disciplined thought, your inner voice transforms into your greatest source of strength, clarity, and resilience. It can become the voice that fuels your ambitions, comforts you in trials, reminds you of your worth during times of failure, and reignites your determination when all other sources have gone silent. It will become the friend who never abandons you, the coach who pushes you toward excellence, and the guide who steers you back to your higher path whenever you stray. Every day, without exception, you have the sacred opportunity to coach yourself, to build a relationship with your mind that lifts you up rather than tears you down, that fortifies rather than weakens, that empowers rather than sabotages. This is not merely an abstract concept. It is a vital daily practice that determines whether you climb higher or retreat into mediocrity. Each thought you entertain is a building block, a rehearsal that prepares you either for defeat or for victory. Every internal whisper is like a seed being sown into the fertile soil of your consciousness. If you speak to yourself with cruelty, sarcasm, doubt, or fear, you unconsciously rehearse retreat before you even step onto the battlefield of life. You diminish your own strength before your journey even begins, subtly undermining your courage and eroding your will. You prepare yourself to surrender rather than to fight, forfeiting potential victories before the contest even starts. But if you speak to yourself with encouragement, with fierce honesty tempered by compassion, with unyielding belief in your capacity to overcome, you lay the groundwork for triumph, for a quiet, enduring strength that no external force can easily shake. Regardless of how treacherous the path ahead may seem, your inner dialogue becomes your most reliable armor, the shield that guards your mind against the arrows of despair. Choose your words carefully, with the same deliberate tenderness you would offer to someone you love more than life itself. Every whisper you allow inside your mind matters. Every phrase you repeat internally either nurtures growth or nourishes fear. Language is not neutral. It is charged with the power to create or destroy. Be patient, because growth is not instantaneous. It requires seasons of tending, watering, enduring storms, and believing even when no visible progress seems to appear. Be firm, because standards and expectations form the very scaffolding of character, shaping the contours of who you will ultimately become. Be relentless, because the world will try ceaselessly to sway your spirit, whisper doubts into your ear, and tempt you to abandon your course in favor of easier, lesser paths. You must remain unyielding. You must be your own greatest advocate when no one else is watching, when the applause has faded, and when only your own voice remains to encourage you forward. Especially with the words you speak to yourself, for they are not mere echoes in the hollow corridors of your mind. They are potent seeds, deeply planted, from which your entire future will either wither and decay or blossom and flourish into something magnificent, something lasting, something worthy of all your dreams and all your efforts. Practice thought audits. 3 times a day, pause and ask yourself, what am I thinking right now? If your thoughts are harmful or discouraging, replace them with stronger ones. Write powerful phrases you can draw upon when needed, like, I am capable, this too shall pass, or I bend, but I do not break. Chapter 8. Obstacles are the path. Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. The obstacle is not separate from your path. It is your path. Life is not happening to you. It is happening for you to forge the strength you seek. When you see obstacles as teachers rather than threats, your entire experience of life undergoes a profound transformation, a shift so powerful that it redefines your relationship with struggle itself. Frustrations that once felt like insurmountable burdens now appear as valuable invitations, portals through which you can grow stronger, wiser, and infinitely more resilient. They become essential opportunities, not just for survival, but for the refinement of your character and the deepening of your spirit. Setbacks no longer signify failure. They become the raw material, the fuel for your ascent, the very energy that propels you to higher levels of capability, wisdom, and understanding. Every challenge you encounter is secretly a carefully wrapped gift, an offering that contains within it vital lessons and latent strength, even though it rarely comes adorned with ease or comfort. These gifts do not announce themselves with celebration. They often arrive cloaked in hardship, wrapped in frustration, and marked by moments of doubt. Yet, it is precisely because they are hidden in difficulty and adversity that they possess the power to forge greatness within you. A greatness that could never be summoned in the absence of trials, a strength that remains undiscovered without the pressure and heat of life's crucible. Challenges are not diversions from your path. They are your path. They are the chisels that carve away your illusions, the fires that burn away your weaknesses, and the storms that strengthen your roots. They sculpt you with every stumble, every setback, every tear shed in silent perseverance. They shape you not into what is easy, but into what is necessary. They prepare you to hold the very blessings you seek, the ones that require a depth of character, resilience, and wisdom that only hardship can cultivate. Without these trials, your victories would be hollow, your success shallow, and your spirit untested. Embracing this truth, truly embedding it into the very marrow of your philosophy, turns life's hardships from fearsome enemies into essential, trusted allies. You stop fleeing from difficulty and instead begin to meet it head-on, understanding that every trial you face carries within it a priceless treasure meant for your growth and evolution. You learn that every obstacle, no matter how daunting, is an opportunity in disguise. It is an opportunity to refine your character, to strengthen your will, and to sharpen your resilience. Each obstacle becomes not a blockade that halts your progress, but a building block upon which you climb higher, always upwards. Each detour becomes not a delay, but a directional sign, pointing you toward a deeper purpose, a more profound understanding, and a richer destiny that you might never have discovered without the struggle. In this way, you transform every difficulty, every heartache, every moment of doubt into a stepping stone on your personal path toward mastery, fulfillment, and the quiet, enduring power that comes only from having faced life fully. You prevail not by force, not by rage, but by wisdom, patience, and an unwavering perseverance that knows the greatest victories are not won overnight or through brute strength. They are earned one difficult, deliberate step at a time, with every action taken in alignment with your higher purpose, no matter how small or unremarkable it may seem in the moment. With each step, you gather strength, and with each challenge you face, you carve out a life that is more resilient, more purposeful, and more in harmony with your deepest values. Whenever an obstacle arises, immediately ask, "What is this here to teach me?" Write down your answers. Over time, this question will become second nature, and obstacles will no longer intimidate you, they will empower you. Chapter 9. Action over emotion. The Stoics taught that action, not emotion, should guide your life. While feelings are important, they are not reliable captains of the ship of your existence. Feelings, after all, are like the weather, changing swiftly and unpredictably with the winds of circumstance. One moment, you may feel elated, and the next, you may feel overwhelmed with doubt or fear. Emotions are transient and often beyond your control, but your actions need not be dictated by them. The disciplined mind understands this fundamental truth. It acknowledges emotions as they arise, but does not allow them to take control. Instead, it continues to act with clarity, integrity, and purpose, regardless of how the emotional winds may blow. You can feel fear, sadness, anger, and still act in alignment with your principles. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is the deliberate choice to act rightly despite the fear, the sadness, or the anger that may grip you. Courage is not the absence of discomfort, but the ability to move forward despite it. It is about doing what you know is right, even when the voice of fear or frustration is loud in your mind. The Stoics understood that true bravery is not about waiting for the fear to disappear, but about stepping forward and doing what needs to be done with the fear. The craftsman continues his work even on days when he feels uninspired, understanding that mastery comes not from waiting for motivation to strike, but from showing up each day and committing to the process. The athlete trains even when tired, knowing that greatness is built through repetition and persistence, not perfection. The philosopher studies even when confused, understanding that wisdom is not immediately grasped, but earned over time through patience and deliberate reflection. Success in life is not about waiting for the perfect conditions or the perfect mood. It is about showing up every single day, no matter how you feel, and doing the right thing again and again, even when the path feels difficult or discouraging. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment to take action, but creating the right moment through your consistent dedication. The discipline to continue, even when it's hard, to act despite your emotional state, is what ultimately builds the life you desire, one where your efforts align with your values and your long-term goals, regardless of immediate challenges. It is the act of consistent, persistent effort, regardless of how small or seemingly insignificant it may appear in the moment, that creates lasting progress, compounds into meaningful change, and lays the foundation for future success. These small actions, performed day after day, may feel inconsequential in the moment, but over time, they accumulate into something far greater than the sum of their parts. Each effort, each step taken with purpose, each challenge faced and conquered, no matter how small, adds to your growth, strengthens your character, and builds a future you can be proud of. It is in these quiet, often unnoticed moments that true transformation occurs, slowly and steadily behind the scenes. This is the power of persistence. This ongoing commitment to action, no matter how many obstacles, delays, or setbacks you face, is the secret to a life built not on fleeting moments of motivation, which can often feel overwhelming in their intensity but equally short-lived, but on steady, deliberate progress. It is not the loud bursts of energy or the grand plans that sustain lasting success, but the quiet, unwavering dedication to showing up every single day, doing the right thing, and making progress, even if it's just an inch at a time. Through this consistent effort, you carve out a path that leads to sustainable growth and transformation, proving that success is not about waiting for the perfect moment, but about making the most of the moment at hand, regardless of how small it may seem. Create a minimum action list. No matter how you feel, commit to completing 3 key actions each day. These actions don't have to be monumental or extraordinary, just the essential tasks that move you toward your goals, no matter how small they may seem. Even on your worst days, this list ensures you maintain forward motion, no matter how sluggish or difficult the day may feel. By making these 3 key actions non-negotiable, you build consistency and momentum, ensuring that no matter what distractions, emotions, or setbacks come your way, you stay grounded in your commitment to progress. It's about finding stability in routine and continuing to move forward, even when energy or motivation is in short supply. Chapter 10. Victory through persistence. Victory in life rarely belongs to the fastest, the strongest, or the most gifted. It does not belong to those who achieve greatness through a single stroke of genius or a flash of rare talent, nor does it belong to those who seek shortcuts or wait for the perfect moment to arrive. Instead, it belongs to those who persist, those who refuse to quit, even when every external sign tells them to. It belongs to those who fall, yet rise again, no matter how many times they have been knocked down or how far they have fallen. It belongs to those who continue on their path even when reason says stop, when fatigue takes over, and when doubt begins to creep in like a silent intruder. Success does not belong to the person who gets everything right on the first try. It belongs to the one who continues when it feels hardest, to the one who keeps pushing forward regardless of the odds. Victory belongs to those who understand that success is built on endurance, not on how quickly you cross the finish line, but on how consistently you show up day after day, no matter the challenges. It is those who stay in the game for the long haul, who keep moving even when it seems like there is no progress, that win. The true essence of victory lies not in the fast, fleeting moments of triumph, but in the quiet, steadfast consistency of enduring the process, despite every obstacle, every setback, and every discouragement. Every great figure in history, whether a Stoic philosopher or a revolutionary thinker, knew this profound truth. They understood that persistence is the key that unlocks every door, the force that conquers every barrier. Persistence wears down resistance, slowly but surely, and eventually it breaks through walls that seem impenetrable and overcomes obstacles that appear insurmountable. What once seemed impossible, even laughable, becomes inevitable through steady, unwavering effort. What once felt unreachable becomes attainable, piece by piece, step by step. Every day, every action adds another brick to the foundation of your success. When you commit to persistent action, you become like a river carving through stone, slow, steady, and unstoppable. The river does not rush or force its way through the rock. It wears the rock down, gently but relentlessly, over time. The river's persistence is not about brute force. It's about consistency and patience. Each drop, each current, wears away at the stone until even the toughest, most resilient rock has been shaped and carved by the river's unyielding flow. This is the power of persistence. It may take time. It may feel slow. It may seem like little progress is being made, but in the end, it is unstoppable. What may seem insignificant in the moment, when compounded over time, becomes the force that shapes the landscape of your life. No matter how tough today feels, no matter how heavy the burden or how slow the progress, remember, your only true task is to persist. When everything feels overwhelming, when the weight of the world seems unbearable, or when your progress feels like it's too small to matter, remind yourself that each small effort is a victory in itself, no matter how trivial it may appear. Every small step forward, every ounce of energy invested, every bit of determination to keep going despite the odds. These are the very actions that, over time, chip away at the obstacles in your path, and ultimately, they will shape your future. Even the smallest effort, when consistently applied, becomes part of the larger momentum that propels you toward your goals. And before you know it, the seemingly insurmountable hurdles you face will no longer seem so daunting. The obstacles that once towered over you, those that seemed impossible to overcome, will begin to crumble, worn down by your steady, persistent efforts. The things that once terrified or overwhelmed you will lose their power, simply because you continued to face them head-on, day after day. You are shaping your destiny with every action you take, with every choice you make to continue, and with each effort, no matter how small, you are carving your future into existence. In each of these small, seemingly insignificant moments of perseverance, you are creating the life you desire. In the end, your persistence will be the force that moves mountains. It will not be a single burst of energy that propels you forward, nor will it be a sudden flash of inspiration that carries you to success. Rather, it is the enduring power of your unwavering dedication to the process that truly moves you toward greatness. With time, effort, and relentless determination, nothing will be able to stand in your way. Your success will not be a matter of chance, nor will it be a fleeting result that happens once and fades. It will be the culmination of all the small, consistent actions you have taken, and it will be the result of your tireless commitment to the journey, no matter how long, difficult, or uncertain it may seem. Success is the byproduct of consistent, unwavering action. This is how dreams are realized, not through shortcuts, not through sudden bursts of brilliance or miraculous turns of fate, but through the quiet persistence of those who choose to show up every single day, who keep moving forward despite the challenges, despite the slow pace, and despite the doubts that arise. It's the cumulative effect of countless steps forward, all driven by the belief that each one brings you closer to the person and the life you are meant to create. And in the end, it's this persistence that transforms you and your world into something extraordinary. Adopt a persistence mantra. Create a short phrase that embodies your commitment, such as, "I will not stop," "Forward always," or "Every day, every step." Repeat it when exhaustion tempts you to quit. Let it pull you back to action. The Stoics did not teach passive acceptance of life. They taught active, disciplined, relentless engagement with it. They believed that every individual holds within them a wellspring of strength deeper than any hardship they will face. You are part of this tradition. You are capable of more than you imagine. Storms will come, doubts will whisper, but you, strong, steadfast, and disciplined, will keep going. Remember, keep going. You've got this.